Welcome, everybody. This is the DVMUG Zoom meeting, Tuesday, April 14th, 2026. Today we have only a couple news items and our regular videos. That's Q&A and social hour. So we'll just go ahead and get started. Minor news, because there was updates last week. These were really minor updates for bug fixes, no features. One of them was MacBook Pro and MacBook Air Wi-Fi problems. So definitely want to do that. And these weren't particularly security updates, they were bug fixes. And then there was one for the iPad, iPhone for iCloud syncing bug. So go ahead and do them and be done with it. Okay, first. Oh, here's another news item. I didn't make it to the first one. Okay. I posted this on the BBS. YouTube Premium has a price increase. So this includes YouTube Premium Lite, which I have and Rick has, which basically makes it ad free. So they bumped the prices on both of those. And then somebody else said, well, Amazon also bumped the ad free prices. They changed the name to Ultra, I think, and they bumped it even more, a couple of bucks. YouTube's only $1, I think, for the light, for the bump. So, questions, comments about that? Any of that? Okay. Videos.
I love
Couple.
YouTube TV.
I watch more YouTube than anything else. I haven't even signed up for any kind of network TV yet because I got Peacock thrown in with Comcast for 2 years. And then Paramount had a deal $2 a month for their premium, no ads, for 2 months. So I got that. And then I get Survivor, no commercials, not live next day, no commercials. So I'm going to wait till football season. So I'm going to have to do something. YouTube has lots of interesting stuff. No, I don't watch any network TV except Survivor and football. Okay, let's move on. First video. How to recover deleted messages on your iPhone. So, play.
You can recover deleted conversations and messages on your iPhone. Here's how. In Messages, tap Filter. Then tap Recently Deleted. Select the conversation you want to restore and tap Recover. Tap Recover again to confirm that you want to recover the deleted conversation. This will recover all messages and media, including photos and videos, for the conversation. You can recover deleted messages for up to 40 days. Then tap Filter again and tap Messages to find the conversation restored to your Messages screen. And that's how you can get your conversations back in Messages.
Okay, somebody just mentioned I didn't put the PDF files in the chat, so let me do that real quick. Okay, so here they come. Where's the chat? Chat. There's the chat. There's the file, PDF. There's one. Come on. Post. Okay, there's one. Two. Post. There you go. Okay. They're in the chat now. Back to the keynote. There we go. Okay, next comments or questions about the first deleted. When they didn't have that, I had somebody call me and they accidentally deleted a thread, and they were the kind of people, this is a bad idea. they save all their chats forever and they look back for them for years, and that's their history. That's how they keep track of things. They deleted somebody and lost thousands of supposedly important stuff, and there was no way to get it back. It was, now you can. Okay, here we go.
You can tag photos and videos on your iPhone with the name of your friends, family members, and pets so that it's super easy to find them later on. Your iPhone will do it automatically. You just need to give them the name. Although you can manually fine-tune the results as well. I'm going to show you how to make the most of this awesome feature. So start by opening the Photos app, then scroll down to the People and Pets section, and tap the People and Pets title to see the full thing. Tap on somebody's face to see all of their pictures, and tap Name this person right at the top to match it to somebody in your contacts. You can also type in a custom name if they're not in your contacts. When it comes to pets, the system officially supports cats and dogs, but I had some success in tagging raccoons as well. Although no such love for birds, lizards, snakes, or other animals. At the bottom of the list, you'll also see an Add People button. Tap on that to see the full list of additional people you can add to your library. If the same person is in your photos twice, like if you have two versions of Tim Cook, for instance, you can merge both sets together. This often happens if you have pictures of somebody starting from when they were very young into adulthood, or if somebody significantly changes their appearance. Tap on their name at the top to rename them, and then type in their name again. You should see both versions in the search results. Tap on the second one to merge it with the first one. It'll ask if you're sure you want to merge the photos, and you can tap that or tap cancel if it's a mistake. The Photos app will automatically scan through your library regularly to add pictures that it's confident are of a particular person. But there's another set of photos that it's less sure who the pictures are of, that you can add manually. While you're looking at a person, tap the More button in the upper right and tap on their name, the first menu item. Then you can tap Review Photos Identified to see all the pictures that you have identified are of that person. While you're in here, if you see one that isn't a match, you can tap on it to unselect it. Then tap Review Additional Photos, and it'll show you the pictures that might be that person, and you can go through and confirm whether they are or are not. Tap Done when you're done. You can be even more granular about manually tagging photos. On the iPhone, when you swipe up on a picture, you'll see all the photo's metadata, when it was taken, where it was taken, what kind of lens was used, and more. But you'll also see a small row of faces that have been identified in the picture. Tap on one of these faces to make sure the Photos app has identified the right person. In a few cases, you may discover that in a particular set of photos, one of your friends is identified as a completely different person. Add in their name to merge them as one. Photos only show somebody in the People and Pets section if there are a lot of pictures of them over a long period of time. Going through these pictures manually and tagging these faces by hand can make sure the section is more complete and accurate. Granted, this process is a lot easier on a Mac than on an iPhone. You can go to the menu bar and click View, Show Face Names. You'll see faces circled with their name written underneath, so you can quickly scan through your pictures and identify if a picture is correctly tagged. Once you've tagged all the people and pets you know, you can truly take advantage of the Smart Search feature. Tap the blue search button, and you can combine data like names, places, dates, even the contents of the picture. For example, I can search Scout, Indie, Christmas tree to find holiday photo shoots with my dogs. You can create a grouped set to see all the pictures you have of a particular couple, family, group of pets, and more. In the People and Pets section, next to Groups at the top, tap Create, and you can select 2, 3, 4, up to 32 individuals. You'll see a rotating collection at the top of the People and Pets section with the various groups you've created, and in the main list of collections at the root level of the Photos app. One of the sections in the Photos app is an area called Pinned Collections. This is a customizable list of any album, collection, or group of photos you want easy access to. You can add a face or a group to your pinned collections. Tap Modify, then scroll down and tap Add any collection or album. You can tap to select any person, pet, or group that you want to pin. Then you can scroll back up and drag the grabbers on the right to reorganize the list, and tap Close in the upper right when you're done. If the tagged photos of someone get too muddled up and confused to fix, if it consistently mixes up you with your sibling, or if you have a bad habit of picking all your best friends based on how similarly they look like you, it may be easier doing a hard reset. You can untag all of their photos and start over. Tap on a name to see their photos. Tap the summary button in the bottom right, then tap All. Tap Select in the upper right, then tap Select All. So every picture of that person is now selected. In the bottom right, tap More, then tap These Are Not to untag every single picture. You might have to wait a day or so for your device to process the changes, but then you can start over with that person fresh. So be sure to check out other videos I've done on the Photos and Camera apps. I'm D. Griffin Jones with Cult of Mac.
Question. It's kind of time consuming to do that, but once you do it, it learns the people's faces, and when you take new pictures, it'll just automatically add them once it's confident you tagged a whole bunch of people that way. Comments? Anybody? Questions? Move on. Hearing none, we'll move on. Whoops. How to prepare your iPhone for an emergency. Okay, let's go forward. There we go.
Hi, this is Gary with MacMost.com. Let me show you what you need to do to prepare your iPhone so it can help you in an emergency. So your iPhone can really help you in an emergency, but only if you take the steps first to set things up. First, let's take a look at Medical ID. I want to show you it in action first so you can see why this is important. Here I am on the lock screen for my iPhone, and I'm going to try to unlock it. When I do, it's not going to unlock. Why? Because it's not me trying to unlock my iPhone. It's somebody trying to help me. I have a problem, and they want to try to help me, so they've grabbed my iPhone. People like paramedics and others in situations to help you know they can go to your iPhone to get information that will let them help you. So what they're going to do is they're going to try to unlock it by just swiping up from the bottom, for instance. But Face ID won't work for them. They'll get to the lock screen, and there they'll find the emergency button. You see it here at the bottom left. If they tap that, it's going to allow them to make an emergency phone call with your phone, which they probably don't need because they probably have their own phone. But they're also going to see down here Medical ID, and they can tap that and get information about you. Now, I haven't set anything up, so it just shows my name. Let's change that. To set up your Medical ID, you don't do it in Settings. Instead, you go to the Health app. Go into there, and then look at the top for the icon that represents you. If you don't see it, maybe scroll down, and you may need to scroll back up so you see it at the top right corner. Tap on that. And the second item you'll see here is Medical ID. Go into there. Now we're going to set some things up here. First, we want to make sure that emergency access is shown when locked. And we want to make sure that share during emergency call is on. So if you call emergency first responders, they'll get some of this information. And you can find out more about what they get right here. Now you want to set these things up. So you may want to go and edit, for instance, your name, add a date of birth, add your primary language. Then you could go down here and fill some of this other stuff out. For instance, you can add your medications here, important things to know. You could add allergies here as well. And then emergency contacts. Tap add there and add an emergency contact. This is probably the most important thing here. Go ahead and add an emergency contact, indicate how they're related to you, and continue to add more emergency contacts if you like. You can add other medical conditions here, additional information, and notes. If you find these videos valuable, consider joining the more than 3,000 others that support MacMost through Patreon. You get exclusive content, course discounts, and more. You could read about it at macmost.com/Patreon. So now you can see everything I've added here. I've added a photo, some medications, allergies, emergency contacts, 2 of them. Under conditions, I just typed some text here. Under additional information, you can add your height, weight, and blood type, and you can add additional notes here. So with all that in place, let's try again unlocking my iPhone here, but Face ID won't work. So instead, I will tap emergency and then medical ID. And now you'll see all this information comes up here. A lot of good, useful information for somebody to be able to help me. And most first responders know to look for this emergency medical information on your phone if they can't get it directly from you. Now, another thing you should do is prepare the SOS feature on your iPhone so you can use it in an emergency. To do that, you do want to go into settings and scroll down and look for emergency SOS. And then in here, the first thing you want to do is set it up and remember how you have it set up to be able to use this SOS feature. So this allows you to call for help in a quicker and easier way than actually opening up your phone and dialing 911, 999, or whatever it is in your area. Now, this is a demo phone. It doesn't currently have a SIM in it, so you'll see these options grayed out. But you could read about the options you have available here. You can call by pressing the side button and one of the volume buttons and holding them down until it calls for help. You'll get an alarm and a countdown timer on the screen, so you don't have to worry about accidentally triggering these. It would be hard to do. You can also set it up so you can press the side button 5 times rapidly to trigger the same thing. Further down here, if your phone has this feature, you can have it automatically make the call after a severe crash is detected. And then here you're going to see your emergency contacts. Notice how those are the same as what I had set up in my medical ID in the Health app. The biggest problem with the SOS feature is not knowing how it works when you need it. You don't want to dig into settings and read about it in that situation. So you want to turn these on and then pay careful attention to how you trigger it and think about it in advance. Maybe practice by not actually pressing the buttons, but right next to them to try to create a memory that you can rely on in an emergency. And keep in mind that this can also be used by somebody else to get you help if you're unable to do it on your own. So you have to have these turned on for it to work, but then they can use your phone and hold down the volume button and the side button and wait for the SOS to trigger, or press the side button 5 times, but it won't work unless you've turned it on in advance, and it won't contact your emergency contacts unless you've added those in advance as well. Using the SOS feature will not only contact emergency services in your area, but will also send a message with your location to your emergency contacts. But you have to have set those up first in the Health app. Take a few minutes right now to fill out or update your medical ID in the Health app, and then review your SOS settings in the Settings app. Hope you find this useful. Stay safe. Thanks for watching.
Comments, question? People done this? I did a long time ago. Probably should review it.
It's a good reminder
Yeah,
to
it
have
really
it
is.
done.
That was really good.
Yeah, very well done.
Anybody ever had to use this?
I have a question about it though. If you forget what you used for your emergency call, how do you figure that out?
You mean who to call?
No, like pressing the button 5 times. I don't remember how I set it up because it's been a few years. and I didn't write it down. Uh, so can you just go in and reset up how you call emergency?
You don't call emergency. This is for when you're unconscious laying on the street in a pool of blood.
Okay,
And the ambulance driver hits emergency because it doesn't recognize his face. And
okay,
he hits emergency and then he hits medical and up comes the whole thing.
okay,
And it's really very good. I had to go to emergency room a few weeks ago in Palm Springs, and they said, "And we need your medical history." I said, "I got it right here." I said, "Push emergency." And I put it all in back to 1934. And all your list of drugs and so forth. You put all that in. So you don't have to worry about how to open it. They know how to open it once you've got it set.
okay.
Although I've run into some medical people who said, "Oh, that's kind of cool. I never knew that."
I'm sorry, 1934, did you say?
I'm sorry, 38. That's no, 37. That's when I had my appendix out.
I'm still impressed. I can't remember what I had for lunch yesterday.
Well, I didn't remember either, but I had to have it.
Jesus, 1934. I'm impressed. Was it real medicine or I don't know.
It was
just
an
having a hard time-
appendicitis. I had my appendix removed.
Oh yeah? Is it like a 2-foot scar or
Yeah, it's a pretty good scar. I'll show you sometime. You
Yeah,
won't see it.
I have mine out too.
it just boggles my brain, 1934. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. You're a survivor. What else can I say?
I'm an old one, that's all.
I didn't want to say that, but I'm not here to argue.
You know your son is now?
Okay, anybody else? Okay, we'll move on. Share anything fast with iPhone share sheet. There we go.
Sometimes when I'm using my iPhone and I want to share something like a photo and I can't figure out how to do it, at least not without having to jump around and tap a dozen things, I long for the old days when I could just call my neighbor from my dial-up wall phone and tell them I'm going to stop by and show them a photo I took with my Polaroid. Then I realized I just need to remember a few things about my iPhone to do this. That's what this video is all about. Hi, my name is Rich and I make easy to follow videos on how to use your iPhone and iPad. In fact, I've made a lot of videos, and honestly, I can't remember half the tips I put in those videos. Who could? Besides, my whole world is not my iPhone. But like it or not, my iPhone is with me most of the time, and I do need to learn how to use it as skillfully as possible. Today's video solves the problem of sharing, and by sharing, I mean sending something from your iPhone to someone else. Fortunately, you don't have to jump around and remember a dozen things to do this. Just a couple of things. Now, you may already know how to do some of this, but my guess is you'll learn something new if you stick around. So in this video, I'll show you how to set up the share sheet so it's not so confusing. I'll explain a little bit about that. And then I'll show you how to share a photo, how to share a contact, how to forward a text message in a new text message. That's kind of cool. And then how to share a note from Apple Notes. Now, you can do a lot of other stuff with the share sheet. This pretty much covers everything I need to do, so it probably hits the mark for you too. And the good news is that all you have to do to get started with this is press and hold. Let me show you what I mean. So the first thing I want to talk to you about is just how to set up the share sheet. So let's go into Photos. I've got a photo here of Justin I took with him. And let's say I want to share that photo. To trigger the share sheet, you little tap on this little square with an arrow coming out of it right there. And if I tap on that, now you can see I've got a whole bunch of stuff that just pops up on the screen. And what am I supposed to do? Well, if I want to share it via a text message, I can choose one of these people up here at the top. Maybe my sisters or my daughter, something like that, or my nephew. Or if I want to airdrop it, I can tap on airdrop. AirDrop allows you to share something on your phone with somebody else who has an Apple product that's nearby. And by nearby, I mean usually in the same room or the same home or something like that. And there may be, and maybe I want to send it via a text message to someone who's not listed up here at the top, or maybe I want to email it, or maybe I want to stick it into an Apple Note. I can do that, or the journal, or a number of different things here. All of this is contextual. So you may choose to share a photo and you have all kinds of stuff here, and then you may choose to share something else and almost none of that is there. So it's contextual based upon what you're sharing. So you can copy the photo, you can add it to an album, you can use it as a wallpaper. There's a whole bunch of different things in here. But what happens is this gets a little bit cluttered, and maybe you don't want to see a row of people up here. Or, like this one, here's an HVAC service that I must have sent a text message to sometime recently, and it pops up. I don't know why, but I can tap and hold on that if I don't want to see it, and I can tap Suggest Less, and it goes away. So now I have the more common people that I text up here. However, if you don't want to see that at all, if you just don't want that, you can go into Settings, and you can go to Apple Intelligence and Siri, and then you can slide down until you get to Show when sharing, and I've got that turned on, so I'm going to turn that off, and then we're going to go back to the photos, and we're going to tap on Share again, and now you'll see that list of folks that I had up here that I could text message to is gone, and it just cleans it up just a little bit. Now, if you'll notice also, if I slide over, you have an option of More, and you can tap on More, and here I've listed my favorites, and then here I have some down here that I can add, and if I go to Edit, and I don't want to see any of these things, I can begin to turn them off like this. I've just turned off reminders and journal and notes, and I'm going to hit the check mark, and then I'll hit check mark again, and now we don't have that stuff. Those have been removed. And so maybe you just want to clean it up that way. But those are the two ways you can use, in Settings and then using the More button to sort of clean up what you see here in the share sheet. So that's the first thing you can do, is kind of get that the way you want it. I would suggest maybe just leave it like it is until you figure out how to use the share sheet pretty good, and then you can take your time cleaning it up. Okay, so let's go back to how to share a photo. So again, I'm going to tap on Photos. We've got a little Justin right there in his car, and we want to share that, so I'm going to tap on the Share button, and it's real easy. I'm just going to tap on Messages, and then I can just type in whoever I want to send it to and hit the Send button, and that's it. It's that quick. And again, all I did was go to the share sheet. You can actually do this a little bit faster if you want to. You don't even have to go that way. If you've got your library here, here's me and Rhonda at the beach, so I'm just going to tap and hold, and I can go to share right from there. And I can share away, just like that. It's simple, and I can choose it. I can send it via mail or anything else, all by just tapping and holding. And that's how you share a photo. Well, as you might guess, sharing other things is very similar. If I want to share a contact and I go to Contacts, I'm going to maybe tap on this pharmacy, and I'm going to tap Share. And when you share a contact, you get a choice of sharing the company name, their phone number, and their address. Maybe you want to share all of that, so you just tap those, and then you hit the little check mark. And again, now you can share it via messages, mail, or whatever apps you have in there. But if you'll notice, I can share this one to a quick note, or I can save it to files. And again, this is contextual. There's not all the other stuff you saw there with photos, but this is what you can do with contacts. And so it changes with each type of item that you're sharing. Pretty simple. Tap, hold, share, and you're good to go. Just like that. Okay, the next thing I want to show you is just how to share part of a text message. And this is kind of strange, I know, but It has happened to me time to time. So if I go into messages, let me show you what I mean. And I find a message here and I open it up. And maybe I have a long series of text messages with someone, and maybe they sent me an address or they sent me phone number or just something that I need to share with somebody else. If you go into messages, you can just tap and hold the whole thing, the section you want to send. And if you notice, nothing comes up here about sharing, but there is more. And if you tap on more, now you get the ability to forward that into another text message. So now if I want to send information about Brenda's flowers to my sister, I can hit the little arrow in the bottom right and I can type in her phone number or her name and just hit the send button, and that's it. That's how you share something from within messages. And that's kind of cool. Lastly, I want to show you how to share a note. And again, very similar. We're just going to open up the Notes app. I'll go to All iCloud. And maybe here's a note on a video I want to share. You can just, again, tap and hold. Go to Share. And then you have your choices down here. And again, I can assign that to a contact. I can print that note. I can save it to files. I can airdrop it. I can send it by messages. Again, it's contextual, so you can do more things with a note than you can some of the other things like a contact. But again, you just tap it into messages, add in whoever you want to add as a message, and hit the send button, and you're good to go. Just as simple as that. The whole idea around this is just that you have the ability to share some of the more common things, and getting the hang of doing that just makes using your iPhone that much easier. So what do you think? Was there any tip that was new to you? Be sure to let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know if you found a better way to share stuff. Okay, that's it for today. Thanks so much for watching, and as always, I'll see you in the next video.
Okay, comments, questions?
Yeah, John, did he mention that if you're going to be sharing photos via email, there is a limit on how many photos you can send via email? I don't think he did, but
No, he didn't mention anything like that.
I think it also varies with your provider, how big of a
it
Big they
does, but there
are,
is
how
a
big the
limit.
total size of the email is. If you sell gigantic photos, yeah, you'll have a problem.
Hey,
You
Jan,
probably aren't gonna,
quantity.
you probably aren't gonna have gigantic photos in messages. Maybe you do. I don't know. Depends on what people send. Because messages all automatically downsize the photos so they aren't gigantic. I don't know.
You have your option. You can have it medium or small or whatever.
Original, like mail.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, the new phones, the images they take are pretty darn big.
Mhm.
You know, they can get large. And if you try to send multiple full-size images, you might have a problem.
You'll be notified. Anyway, Jan's got a question. You're muted.
I didn't really have my hand up, but I could ask one about forwarding photos and emails. I had a photo in my photo library that I tried forwarding to somebody. I put a caption on it, but when it got to the other end, and they have Macs, it didn't have the caption or the camera that I used or any of that other information. So is there a way to forward with captions?
Hmm.
The
It was
thing
on
is, the
phone.
thing is, you don't have any control of the other end. You can do whatever you want, format it, you don't really know what's going to happen when everybody's email on the other end is different. Although you think with a Mac it should look the same, but you really have no control of that.
Hmm.
What's happened is that if one person's got let's say Yahoo Mail and the other one's got iCloud or something. The two they will send, but they're different and they function.
They read it, it'll look
Differently.
different to them if they read it on the web. Use Gmail on your Apple Mail will look different than if you read your Gmail on the web page. It will look different.
Yeah, but do you think the features would travel, like the caption that I gave it on the phone and the kind of that I took the picture on the, iPhone 15?
Where was this so-called caption? Inside of photos?
Yes, where you do, I think it's Command I or something, well, on the phone.
Okay, in the
You go
Photos
to I.
app, that won't transfer.
Really?
That's a tag in Photos. That's only specific to Photos. That won't travel via email. You put the photos in the email and then type a line in email underneath it. That's how you need to do it. The caption from Photos will not travel.
And
That's metadata.
so no metadata does not go
No,
there. What about from the Mac? Does it go?
you're better off just putting it in the email and typing underneath it what you consider a caption.
That's disappointing.
Mhm.
Not the answer I wanted.
If they put it into the Photos app from their computer, it could possibly show up with the caption in there, but I don't know. I'd have to test it.
There are ways to embed captions on photographs, but that's actually putting another layer on the photograph.
When you put the picture into the email, do you see the caption in the email?
No, you'd have to do the
Well,
I.
if you don't see it, they're not going to see it. Yeah. Okay. All right. Next. How to locate items with AirTag and Find My. This is a pretty short one.
You can use AirTag and Find My to keep track of your personal items like keys, backpacks, and more. Here's how to find an item, whether it's nearby or farther away. In the Find My app, tap Items. Now tap the item that's connected to your AirTag. If it's within Bluetooth range, you can tap Play Sound to hear a series of chimes that helps you find your AirTag. On supported iPhone models, you can also find your item's precise location. Tap Find Nearby and follow the instructions to move around the space until your iPhone connects to your AirTag. Once it's connected, follow the distance and direction information on your screen. Your iPhone also vibrates as you get closer to your AirTag. Found it! Now just tap the Done button. If your item is out of Bluetooth range, you can tap Directions to open Maps and get directions to your item's last known location. Now let's swipe up on the handle to explore some more options. You can share an item that's paired with an AirTag with up to 5 other people, so they can also locate it in Find My. If you can't find your AirTag, you can tap Show Contact Info and follow the steps to mark it as lost. You'll create a message with your contact details, and if someone finds your AirTag, they can use any NFC-capable device to access a website with your message. You can also tap Share Item Location to share its location with an airline or a trusted person. They'll receive a link that allows them to view your item's location and your contact information for a limited time. Scroll down to the Notifications section, and if your item is out of range, you can turn on Notify When Found. By default, you'll receive a notification if your iPhone becomes separated from your AirTag. You can tap Notify When Left Behind to set trusted locations like your home or work, where you can leave your AirTag without being notified. And in the Settings section, you can rename your AirTag, remove it from your Apple account, or stop all sharing. And that's how to use AirTag to keep track of your most important things.
Comments, questions?
Well, just a comment. Here I read in the paper, a local paper here. Excuse me. The car was stolen with a hidden AirTag in it, and it also had a MacBook someplace. I think it's a nearby city over here. Anyway, the owner tracked it down, called the police, gave him the address, and the police went over there, found the car under a car cover, and when they got to it, they also found the stolen, I think the iBook, MacBook Air. So they recovered everything, the car and the MacBook Air.
Jane Powell got her hand up, and
It
somebody.
came in handy for me on the 27th of March. Flew to Florida and my luggage didn't come off the carousel, and I checked, and sure enough, they had left it in San Francisco. So there you go.
When they were able to find it with the AirTag?
Oh, well, they found it when they just went in and found, oh yeah, it's still sitting there. And I was going on a cruise that afternoon, so they had to send it to me in St. Thomas. So anyway.
I think most major airlines do that now. You can share it with them.
Right.
Okay, somebody else have their hand up? Said somebody other, but didn't say who it was.
It's me.
Okay, you.
Just quick question for Jane, besides what my topic was. So the luggage carousel in St. Thomas, is that very big?
Oh, the luggage was in Fort Lauderdale.
Oh, I thought you said they sent it to St. Thomas. My
They
apologies.
did, because I left Fort Lauderdale and I wasn't going to sent to St. Thomas for 2 more days, so they had to FedEx it down there.
Okay. I'll vouch for how good those AirTags are. I recently got a money clip with AirTag spot, and I put one in there because I lost my money clip, and it fell out in the car one time, and it notified me before I got into the building I was going into that it wasn't on my person. I went back. It was between the door and the seat of my car. I'm a big fan of AirTags. Love them. Got them on my keys. Like I said, we travel, we stick them in the luggage. I've even been known to swap them with my traveling companion. So if we ever get separated, I can find them. You know, if you go to like a giant, you mentioned Fort Lauderdale, they've got a flea market that's probably 5 acres big. And if you start wandering around, you get lost, but you can find each other if you just swap AirTags. That's it.
Okay, anybody else? Okay, we shall move on. Next. Is your iPhone listening? How to check the camera and microphone access. A lot of people were worried about their camera getting turned on and watching them or listening to them, and they don't know it. Okay, go ahead.
If we haven't met, I'm Ellen from Ellen's Tips for iOS, where I help seniors master their iPhones and iPads. Today, I'm going to show you something very important for your privacy: how to quickly tell which apps are using your camera and microphone, and how to stop them if you don't want them to. This is one of those features that gives you peace of mind once you know where to look. If you find the video helpful, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and turn on that notification bell so you never miss when a new video is posted. Let's get started. Have you ever wondered, is my iPhone listening to me? Or how do I know if an app is using my camera? You're not alone. This is one of the most common concerns I hear. The good news is Apple actually makes this very easy to check, and they even give you visual alerts right on the screen. Let me show you exactly what to look for. Whenever an app is using your camera or microphone, you'll see a small dot in the dynamic island in the top right corner of your screen. And here's what they mean. A green dot equals your camera being used. An orange dot equals your microphone is being used. For example, if you're on a video call, you'll see the green dot. If you're recording audio, you'll see the orange dot. This happens automatically, no setup is required, and it's one of the easiest ways to know what's happening in real time. Now here's the part most people don't know. You can actually see which app used your camera or microphone last. Here's how. Once you've completed a call or you see that green or orange dot in the dynamic island, swipe down from the top right corner of your screen to open the control center. At the very top, you'll see something like camera recently used by or microphone recently used by. This tells you exactly which app accessed it. This is incredibly helpful if something doesn't feel right. Before I continue with the tutorial, I wanted to mention something briefly. I hear from many of you that even with the videos, there are moments when you're just not sure what to do next. And that's completely understandable. So I've been working on something new that will give you step-by-step help and a place to ask questions when you need it. I'll be sharing more about that very soon. Let's continue with some more tips about the camera and microphone app permissions. Now let's take this one step further. Did you know that you can control which apps are allowed to use your camera or microphone? So to check the camera access, we're going to open the Settings app, scroll down until you see Privacy and Security, and now scroll until you see Camera. Go ahead and tap on Camera and you'll see a list of apps. Each one has a switch next to it. If the switch is green, that means you're allowing that app to use your camera. If it's gray, it means that the camera option for that particular app is turned off. You can simply toggle off any app you don't trust or don't need. So now let's go back and check the microphone access. I'm going to tap the back button in the upper left corner. And now I'm going to locate, we see camera. Now I'm going to locate microphone. And again, you're going to see the same, list here of all the apps that have requested access to the microphone. Turn off anything that you're unsure about. Here are a few simple tips to keep in mind. Only allow access to apps you recognize. If an app doesn't need the camera or microphone, turn it off. Don't panic if you see the dot. It's often something normal like phone calls, FaceTime, or voice messages. The key is now you know how to check and verify. Your iPhone is designed to protect your privacy. You just need to know where to look. And now you do. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you next time.
Okay, comments, questions? I think that might be the last video.
I didn't realize the orange and green dots specified audio and video. It's helpful.
Okay, any comments or questions, discussion about anything we did in the previous videos, or we move on to general Q&A and start a new recording? Anybody? Okay, DVMUG members can find the link to the next recording for Q&A on the DVMUG BBS. So we will stop this recording. I will stop my screen share. Stop my screen share. Stop the recording.